Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, this Thanksgiving, I'm thinking of our neighbors with an empty seat at the dinner table, those with loved ones abducted and deported from their families, those we lost due to gun violence, mass incarceration, and more. A more just America is possible if we fight for it. So 300 likes, over 1,000 comments, another epic ratio. And this Thanksgiving, thinking of American heroes like Charlie Kirk, several policemen, and other brave law enforcement like this young woman whom your criminal neighbors and your violent rhetoric killed. Her dad says her wounds are mortal. Your husband spent 10 years, your husband spent 10 years in prison. All you know is crime, drugs, and violence. You're a disgrace. Yep. I have to stop saying how stupid can you be. Some people are taking it as a challenge. God bless them. Not everyone goes home for Thanksgiving. Absolutely. Thank you for your service. Let's see. The blood's on Biden's hands as well as anyone who voted for him. You are correct. Look at how many American families that will have that empty seat. How many American children have an empty seat for their mother? How many families will have an empty seat for their daughters or son? Just a few of the 5,000 annual victims of illegal aliens. All were permanently separated from their families. Yep. And you don't hear a word about any of them on mainstream news. No, just the innocent, criminal, illegal immigrants, which they often call undocumented American migrants. So, since none of the illegals celebrate Thanksgiving anyway, then your post is even more retarded than usual. Right? This Thanksgiving, I'm grateful that illegal immigrants are being deported from the U.S. My beloved community, family members, friends, and neighbors are safer. I sincerely pray that the families with an empty seat at their dinner table will soon join their deported family members and their family will be together again in any other country but the USA. To the Americans who lost an innocent family member due to gun violence or by the hand of an illegal immigrant, my heart breaks for you. I blame the Democrat politicians and their love for immigrants over American citizens. A safer America is possible if we stay on the course of mass deportations. Okay. And fact post, new data reveals that Thanksgiving will cost the average American nearly $1,000. What do you think about this? Do you really think that on average, the average American is spending $1,000 for Thanksgiving? Look, do you know how much this, or wait, hold on, where did it go? I thought that I had it. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, right here. So this was mine, as I showed at the beginning of the video. This whole spread cost me $30. And the reason it cost me an absurd amount of money was because I ordered through DoorDash, because I kept checking my local Village Inn restaurant, because on Google Maps you can go and you can look at the live graph that shows how busy it is. Well, it was 3 times busier than normal, which I've been to this Village Inn. I go there often, and I know as busy as it was, I was gonna have to probably wait for like an hour before they finally got my meal. So I just ordered DoorDash. This is the first time I've ordered DoorDash in over a year. And the whole thing cost me $30. I gave them a $7 tip. I think the meal was like $21 or $22, like before the tip. But I was feeling a little bit generous because it is Thanksgiving. So didn't cost me $1,000. So I don't know what the hell that fact post is talking about. I don't think they link an article or anything. No, but anyway, so AI pick up Thanksgiving dinner because there just aren't many pictures on the internet. Here we go, Aldi. So I shop Aldi exclusively. I know some people, they don't like Aldi because they are a bit woke. They are a German family company. So yeah, like during the peak of the Pride Month and all that, like there were images on X that showed like Aldi having like rainbow flags hung up in the grocery store, and yeah, so they were under the gun for a while when it came to like the DEI and inclusivity and getting woke and everything. But at the end of the day, Aldi's about all I can afford, so that's why I shop Aldi. But yeah, you can buy everything to make Thanksgiving dinner. You can buy it in Aldi. And I did it last year. Like, I think every single ingredient that I used, and I cooked everything from scratch last year, and I got everything from Aldi. And I don't even think I spent $100 on everything. And I mean, I didn't feed like a giant family of like 50 people. I mean, there was like 7, maybe 8 of us last year. So it was a small gathering, but still, yeah. I mean, I definitely can vet that. So anyway, Conservatron, Walmart Thanksgiving box for 10 people cost $78 this year, 23% less than last year. You are a liar. I mean, where are they getting this $1,000 a person? Are they talking flights? I mean, even if you factor in flights, even if you're not staying in your relative's house, that you're going to stay in a hotel, and like the cost of food, because if you're staying for like a 4-day weekend, or even if you're gone for a whole week, yeah, you're going to eat out a few times. Like, I think even per person, even that's not going to add up to $1,000. I mean, unless you're like really high class, like you're flying first class, you're staying in a 5-star hotel or something. People were promised they could afford at most 2 dolls for Christmas. Many may not be able to even afford that. I mean, some people probably not. I spent $69 on Chinese food. Yeah, there you go. If they are cocaine addicts. Yeah, my Chinese food tradition, I kind of lean toward the Christmas story side, where I like if I get Chinese food during the holidays, it's gonna be on Christmas or right around Christmas. 1,000. See, that's what I'm saying, man. That had to be a typo. Like $100 maybe, but even that's outrageous. You know, a freaking $100. But no, man, they said they even put the comma there. So like they actually talked $1,000. That's actually what they mean. Of course, they got Trump's picture, you know, which is supposed to subliminally tell you that it's all his fault. It's all the evil orange man's fault that Thanksgiving costs $1,000 a person. Okay. All right, Eric Swallwell, I've decided to go on offense. And before we play this, he got a 2-to-1 ratio. And you know,
I've decided
let's see what he has to say.
Donald Trump is weaponizing the department.
He can't make one post. He can't make one fucking video where he doesn't mention Donald Trump. It is impossible. When you got Trump derangement syndrome, like Trump is constantly living in their head rent free.
Of Justice against his political opponents. In fact, you've probably seen lately.
He'll probably say Trump at least 3 times, actually.
Adam Schiff, Tish James, Lisa Cook,
criminal,
and now me.
Indicted.
All nonsense.
Under investigation.
I've been a vocal critic against the president. I'm one of the only surviving lawsuits against him for what he did.
Yeah, says the guy who was banging a Chinese CCP spy for God knows how long, probably still is.
On January 6th, I was an impeachment manager, and I'm leading the effort in Congress today on January 6th to make sure they don't rewrite it.
Yeah, one of the leading propagandists.
Or make me.
Because the right, they don't engage in riots. They don't engage in egregious political violent behavior. So they had to stage the whole thing.
Go silent for what he is doing in our country. You know, the only side of the ball I ever want to be on is offense. So I have brought
a
privacy suit and a First Amendment retaliation suit.
We know how the Democrat Party does it.
That's the only language they understand. I hope you take a look at it, and I hope it telegraphs that what Democrats are going to do when we're in the majority and when we have more blue state governors is be on offense and hold them accountable.
Blue state governors. Oh yeah, by the way, I think the point in this video is he's got a wonderful vision. He has an amazing, fantastic dream where he's going to win the governorship in the state of California while Gavin Newsom ascends to the presidency in 2028. All right, Kayla, Minnesota's first snowstorm is here, and with rising energy costs, heating our homes will cost significantly more this winter. Oh, it's all Donald Trump's fault. You could thank Donald Trump for that. I'm running for Congress so every Minnesotan can afford a warm home and a Thanksgiving meal every year. Another absolutely brutal, that's the worst ratio I've probably seen to date. That's like 20-to-1. It's more than 20-to-1. So, yeah, anyway, yours truly says you can thank renewable energy for those costs and the assumption you can run a state on batteries, goofball. Ask left-leaning Google. Renewable energy will never bring down the cost of an American's electric bill, only up, which is true. I mean, Google will verify that if you ask Google. Anyway, thank President Trump for this, for the secure border, deporting criminals, blasting drug smugglers, safer streets, record market, tax cuts, gas prices falling, mortgage rates falling, new trade deals, Middle East peace, ended 8 wars, saving thousands of lives, destroyed Iran's nuclear program. Let's see, that's a lie. You can thank the Democrat climate scammers for high utility costs. Absolutely. Yeah, it's no coincidence that when they were rolling out trillions of dollars worth of renewable energy, that all of our electric bills started going up because they were actively working on shutting down our nuclear facilities, trying to retire our coal industry, and yeah, it only led to our costs going up and up. Because if you run a city, or if you run even a neighborhood, even if you run your own home on solar or wind power that's backed up on batteries, it's going to cost substantially more than it would if you just ran off of just the classic power grid. And I'm in Mississippi, and my electricity is the lowest it's ever been. I'll thank President Trump for that. Local government has more to do with the regulations and costs of electricity than the federal government. Yeah, I believe that. Liar and dumb liar at that. Actually, I noticed a huge jump in my utility bills in December of 2024. The commodity price of gas is down. The huge increase was in service delivery charges and fees green-lighted by the Biden administration to fund Democrats' Green New Scam. It took effect right after the 24 election. Why lie? Democrats' environmental policies are responsible for the spike in utility bills. Yeah, absolutely true. And what is it? I think it's in the state of New Hampshire. They have to pay like an extra premium on top of their electric bill to pay for people who can't afford their own electric bill. So they're actually subsidizing, quote, low-income families' electric bills by overly charging everyone else in the state. I think that's in New Hampshire. All right, Rep. Pramila Jayapal. Refugees come to this country fleeing danger and persecution, and working to protect them has been a bipartisan issue for decades. Yet under Trump, it has become nearly impossible for refugees to come here. It's short-sighted and means people will just die. Look, why don't they just stay in their own countries and make their countries better? Why, instead of fleeing their homeland to try to come to the United States and essentially bring us down into a third world hellhole, why don't they just stay in their own country and improve their own way of life? It's not impossible. It's been done before. I don't know why they don't just collectively try to make that happen. So another brutal ratio, 619 likes and over almost 6,000 comments.
I'm
Good
the top
grief.
Democrat, the ranking member on the Immigration Subcommittee, and refugee resettlement has long been a bipartisan issue and a tool in our foreign assistance toolbox. And I know that you...
Not for economic reasons, lady. The vast majority of these illegal immigrants that came up into the U.S., they're only here for economic reasons. They just want to make money. That's all they want. They're not fleeing religious persecution. They're not fleeing a war-torn country. Their lives are not immediately in danger in the places they live. They just want more money.
United States, but due to this current administration's very restrictive immigration policies, it would be almost impossible for you to resettle. Can you talk about your experience resettling and
what we voted for,
it's
lady.
So important for us to keep that refugee resettlement program strong?
Thank you for the question. I think, as you can
Of
see,
course she's
one
got
of
to be in
the
agreement.
Many examples, and
It's
I
so
also wanna
horrific.
acknowledge this. The resettlement program is one of the many solutions that we need. As I did mention, the ultimate...
Yeah, but do you think Democrats have abused that system? You think that they've probably abused it to the maximum possible amount that they could?
For us is to return back to home when it is safe to do so.
Yeah.
And it is not that there's no conditional situation for us right now and for refugees in Cox's Bazar to go back. However, given as you have heard from three of us...
No, you just don't want to go back.
In the camps in Bangladesh and across the regions in Asian Pacific countries, it is very important to continue bringing refugees to these countries, a country that care about the human rights.
Yeah, so you can populate us out of existence.
Refugees, and
I know what y'all are doing over in Europe.
To call a place home that I was never able to call.
Yeah, because like over in Europe, they've been pretty clear, like particularly in the UK and France, they're like, look, we don't have to beat your population conventionally. We just have to outbreed you.
For my entire life. And that actually allows me to continue advocating for millions of people who are left behind. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you. We're so fortunate to have you in this country.
Oh, whatever. Why don't you just stay in your own country and make it better, as I said. ICE caught bringing in more people they abducted to Alligator Alcatraz in Florida on Thanksgiving morning. Germany 1933 colorized? Oh no. It's so cruel, Alligator Alcatraz. All of these criminal illegals, how dare we? Not that these people celebrate Thanksgiving anyway. I mean, they're not even friggin' Americans, for crying out loud. The Trump regime is disappearing people. Oh yeah, another one from Jayapal. Disappearing people to indefinite detention in third countries they've never been to, often giving them no chance to contest their deportation and breaking U.S. and international law. Cruelty and inhumanity beyond belief from the New Yorker. Look, I'm not even going to go through that article, but I will be fair and link it. If you want to read it for yourself, it's going to be on the New Yorker. They're disappearing people. Disappeared to foreign prisons. Yeah, because they're criminal illegals. They broke American laws. They didn't just break the law to get into the country. They broke the law inside this country. A lot of them R-wording and SAing and committing all like full-on murder in many cases. So Abdi Wahab Sheikh Abdisamad. Mr. President Trump, let me give you a brief but necessary history lesson. The United States is about 240 years old, yet Somali civilization stretches back more than 2,000 years, long before Christopher Columbus ever crossed the Atlantic. Somali cities were thriving centers, and I think this goes long, thriving centers of trade, culture, scholarship, and maritime power. Yeah, dude, you're talking 1,000 fucking years ago. Mogadishu is over 550 years older than the United States, once standing as one of the great commercial hubs of the Indian Ocean world. Well, why isn't it now? Why is it fallen into complete disrepair now? History shows that empires rise, fall, and change, but nations with deep roots endure. Well, obviously, Somalia doesn't have very deep, strong, not a strong empire with deep roots because it's among the poorest countries on the planet. Many Somalis believe the U.S. policies, together with those of its allies, have kept Somalia weak, divided, and unable to rebuild its full potential. Okay, yeah, so blame everybody else for your own problems. If you see that as exaggeration, then here's the simplest test. Allow Somalis to rebuild with genuine freedom. Let Somalia choose its own partners, China, Russia, Turkey, and the BRICS, or any nation it wishes without interference. Look, I mean, I'm not going to entirely push back against that. You know what? If China, Russia, if they want to dump billions of dollars into Somalia, I don't think we should stop them from doing that. Give Somalis 10 peaceful years of self-determination and watch them build cities as vibrant as New York, Los Angeles, D.C., and many more, really, in 10 years. And when that day arrives, we welcome you to visit and experience true Somali hospitality. And that, I already know what this is going to be, that clip that we played at the beginning of the video where he called Afghanistan. I think it was Afghanistan. We called it a hellhole. But anyway, here, I'll play this first, then we'll check out a couple of comments, which he got evenly ratioed 5-1.
Where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he mentioned that.
Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from
a
rampant
country fraud
that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing.
Okay, so we already saw that speech, but yeah, I mean, some of the fraud, just a little piece of the fraud is in those quote unquote autism care centers where they're almost entirely fraudulent. And what they're doing is that Somali children are being taken to these autism centers where they're just blanket diagnosing all of them with autism, so they could submit applications to the government to get essentially like I don't know if it's a social security disability or whatever it is, that they're getting funding from the federal government to support their autism. And they're taking a lot of that money and they're sending it off to Somali terrorists. At least so the news articles that I've read have stated. So anyway, let's take a look at a couple of these comments. What have you done or invented with the over 2,000 years of history? Still seeking asylum in several countries? He's like, imagine, he replied, so I don't know if he's fighting for his life down here or not, but he replied to this one at least. Imagine mocking a country with millennia of history while contributing absolutely nothing to your own timeline. Somalis don't need your approval. You need Google. Yeah, Google, which by the way is an American company. This Somali shithole culture you're whining about, Somalis effing torched their own country into a rotting corpse. Own your GD mess. Yeah, the female mutilation and so on and so forth. Shut the F up, Kenyan. Oh yeah, so this dude, he's not even from Somalia, he's from Kenya. I mean, like, look, let's see if that's actually true. Is he really actually from Kenya? All right, this is his profile, his bio. Yeah, he's from Nairobi, Kenya, so he's not even Somali. I mean, maybe he was born in Somalia, but he's not there now. All right, anyway. So are you insane? You want us to allow Somalians to take over our country? Why not do that in your own country? Imagine coming on here to write a post about how your country is 10 times older than the one you're fleeing to and thinking it's a flex when your 2,000-year-old country is a third world hellhole after having 10 times the amount of time to improve it. Yeah, right. Good point. So if Somalia is so great, why in the hell are they, or what the hell are they doing or migrating to America? Yeah, why are they migrating here then if it's so wonderful? If what you say is true, that Somalia is so great, solve your own problems by your own damn selves and leave the U.S. taxpayer and our dollars out of it. Don't give this dude from Kenya the time of day. The last dude from Kenya, Obama, almost destroyed our country. Uh-oh. Okay. All right, Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill, but he didn't stop it. In 2025, we are stopping the fraud and the illegal immigration. And let's see. Oh, yeah, this is from Defiant L's. Chuck Schumer back in the 90s. So he says the number one reason people come to the U.S. illegally is to defraud systems like Social Security, and I want to stop it. My, oh my, times have changed.
Thank the gentleman, salute him for his work on this, rise in support of the amendment. First of all, Social Security card is used from one end of America to the other as an identification card right now. Who are we kidding? If you want to pass a law and says it shouldn't be, I would ask the chairman and the distinguished minority member of the Social Security Committee to pass that law, but let's admit the truth. Everywhere people go, they're asked for a Social Security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment. All over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law.
See, you notice how they actually cared about their constituency back then. I bet Democrats, by and large, they actually legitimately put their voters, their constituents first. In other words, they put their country first and not their own party's self-interest.
Because of fraud.
Which is
and
important.
Here, the gentleman from Florida has put together the most effective anti-fraud measure we can find without it changing the actions of the government one bit. And we find all this opposition. Ladies and gentlemen of this chamber, what I worry about is that this bill, which started out with good intentions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, is going to end up being the same kind of thing that the public gets angry with us on. We say we're doing something, and we do nothing. Because every time someone makes a rational and small proposal to get something done,
even though it's pushing back against whatever this is,
people say, well, what about this hypothetical, that hypothetical, etc. I urge support of this amendment. If you believe you want to stop fraud in immigration, you have no choice but to support this amendment.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Oh, sounds like something that should have been passed. From Chuck Schumer, man. Fancy that.
If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out The Swamp, Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern, with segments dropping on the daily. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.